Space News 98. Hello, thank you for being here with me once more. I hope you are very well today. This is Marie, with another edition of Space News. Welcome to my channel. This information can be seen as science fiction, or as the viewer sees best, and I post it for entertainment purposes only. Still, I take my information very seriously, and for whoever has eyes to see. I am writing this on the morning of August 29, 2025. In today's first piece of news, an Alphaton Centauri starship of the Black Knight type was shot down last Wednesday afternoon to evening, local time, while it was performing an observation mission over the eastern part of the Caribbean Sea, north of Venezuela. The fighter-class starship, designated by the Alphatons as Alpha Kilo 17, as they use human terminology, as they are basically more of them, but in space. It was stationary and looking down just above the 100-kilometer legal limit separating Earth-humans airspace and Federation-controlled space while it observed the movements of the United States Navy in that area. It was first hit by an intense array of energy weapons beamed at it, and then by 3 surface-to-air missiles designed to destroy satellites, which were fired from those ships at sea. All Black Knight starships have advanced energy shields, and as stated by the Alphaton High Command, the energy beams may have disrupted the rate of the shield's harmonics, using an exact destructive frequency, enabling the missiles to go through them. This would mean that the Cabal knew the Black Knight's shield harmonics before the attack, which is quite possible and even logical, as they closely cooperated with the Alphatons until recently. The crew of the Black Knight craft was probably overconfident, trusting their shields when they were hit by the energy weapons with no immediate effect, not knowing that they were vulnerable. As stated by the Alphatons, the Black Knight did not maneuver at all when it was hit by the surface-to-air missiles, so the energy weapons most probably were also blinding its sensors, as the craft did not take any evasive action. The large fighter-class craft, roughly 60 meters long, disintegrated into several large pieces, and the largest of them, containing the front part of the ship with the cockpit area, made an arch movement over the Caribbean while it entered the atmosphere, falling to Earth as a ball of fire. Both the pilot and the co-pilot died in this incident as their ejection capsule did not deploy. The remaining parts of the ship orbited the Earth once before entering the atmosphere and falling to the ground, also as balls of fire, which were seen over Bolivia and Peru, while the largest part of the ship plummeted into southwestern Mexico in the region of Oaxaca, where it was seen by countless witnesses who took many videos of the fireball, which allegedly fell near a town known as Zimatlán de Alvarez, leaving a field on fire. The Alphaton response was immediate as they reached the main crash site in minutes, retrieving what was left of the Black Knight. Shortly after, the police and the military set limits on that zone, and the local government stated that what was happening there was just a garbage dump on fire and that everything was under control, ignoring the countless eyewitnesses and their videos capturing a large falling object, all which are quite easy to find online with the location data I provided above, but a word of caution here as we have detected footage of several other similar incidents from the past, and that have nothing to do with this last one. Whoever is using older incidents as if they were images of this one is doing a great disservice, as now all the videos have fallen in credibility, as is logical, and as the governments want. It is hard to sort out which videos are the real ones and which do not belong to this incident, but it is still possible using logic and wise discernment. They are mostly classified by humans as falling meteorites or falling space junk. This tragic incident that leaves 2 dead is a wake-up call for all the Federation star races, as no one should be overconfident with their technology, because the Cabal, which controls Earth, does have the technology and the resources to hurt any one of us, so caution must be had at all times. Among us here, I have tasked the Taygetan starship Hyades, classified as a destroyer, to observe the Cabal's movements in the Caribbean, specifically. It is one thing to shoot down a fighter ship and another to go against a last-generation Taygetan destroyer. We have tasked the Hyades to observe that area because she can sustain a very low-altitude orbit, unlike any of the larger and heavier dreadnoughts of the Taygetan fleet. This is necessary as it is now obvious that the Cabal is planning to do something in that area which they do not want the Galactic Federation to see. Moving on to another subject, we have detected artificial weather patterns all over the Earth, making us wonder if there are any natural ones left at all. Their weather manipulation technology is now global, where one pattern on one side of the planet is also used to alter the entire system to create the desired effect wherever they want, thus creating a fully controlled environment where they can attack any part they wish to create a series of crises that suits their manipulation needs, and furthers their environment change agenda, which is used as an excuse to limit the population's rights, blaming everything on the people's activities, their little four-cylinder cars, or on the sun and its normal cycles. We have detected that the intense and destructive floods of the last few days, which occurred in Querétaro, Mexico, are completely intentional, as we have seen energy beam transmissions coming from their supposed portable power plant ships at sea, directly focusing right above that Mexican city, which was most probably targeted as it is in a semi-desertic place, therefore they are ill-equipped to manage large amounts of rainfall. As you can see, the Cabal has been targeting Mexico in general and on several action fronts, so our attention is set there as well, which is why I talk about Mexico so much lately, even more so as it is a hotspot and a hub for Lyrian trafficking, as well as for all kinds of illegal substances, and a concentration point for everything moving from South America to North America. One important thing I want to stress here. All that illegal and horrible activity has nothing to do with the vast majority of the Mexican population, who are hard-working, beautiful people that only want to make an honest living and enjoy life, but they are in trouble because too many Cabal-caused bad things are going on around them. I say this because I do not want to be misinterpreted. Moving back to what is going on in space, last Monday, an Antarian supply starship that had just descended from hyperspace was surprised by a large Atorthan cruiser of the same class as the ones that started the recent conflict in the Vieira, characterized by being covered with spikes. The Atorthan cruiser placed itself directly in front and in a collision trajectory with the Antarian supply craft, which was moving at high speed and braking to enter Earth's orbit. The Atorthan cruiser placed itself in a collision trajectory on purpose, and a tragedy would have happened if the Antarian supply craft's crew hadn't acted rapidly, taking high-speed evasive action. The members of the Galactic Federation in high and low Earth's orbit have taken 2 warnings this week, one with the Cabal hitting an Alfreton Black Knight, and another above with this incident with the Atorthans, where we can now see that the 500-plus Orion crafts positioned at an average orbital altitude of 5 million kilometers are not just observing as some star races have suggested, and do take hostile action against any of us. Their position is in legal interplanetary space, even if technically they are orbiting Earth at a very high altitude, so their actions are considered only as piracy, which leaves us the legal opportunity to confront them directly to remove their threat, yet doing so may cause a chain reaction, triggering a larger problem with Orion in general. Any action must be considered carefully and strategically. It is well known that they are coming in and out of Earth through artificial portals and jump rooms, And I know many of you may ask why we cannot shut them down if we can easily detect their power spikes from orbit. The problem is that most are deep under Earth in dumps and are mobile and only turn on for like 3 minutes or less, so when we detect that one has been activated, we have little to no time to react. Their frequencies change all the time, and this means that we are basically playing a sick game of whack-a-mole. Not all the portals are mobile, but the largest ones are heavily guarded in military installations and posing as scientific hadron colliders, which is another subject we must go into. Moving on to something else, and as I reported to you recently, we are developing close action crafts to back up our stack ships, which can only be used at night or in isolated places on Earth, as they don't look entirely human, looking quite similar to a science fiction craft from the movie Aliens. They won't be replaced, but we will be introducing small Taygetan crafts that are built and designed to look like some types of human helicopters. These are in their finishing stages in Tema, as their prototype has flown well but has encountered a problem that our engineers are hard at work to solve. The shape of a helicopter is not adequate for an even distribution of power for its shields. The shields of any starship or craft are generated in a toroidal manner, where the energy comes out of the engines at the rear, envelops the entire craft and comes back into the system through an energy collector at the front. The problem is that the position of an engine exhaust in a helicopter is midship, while on a starship, it is at the very rear. So in a helicopter-shaped craft, the energy toroid leaves the tail section and the rear rotor, as well as the tips of the main rotor, out of the range of its protection cocoon, therefore vulnerable. Making things worse, the tail and rear rotor of a helicopter are where they get attacked the most, so this problem is completely unacceptable. I am not sharing a vulnerability in public, on the contrary, as this has caused our engineers to search for alternative solutions, which will advance our energy shield technology a lot more. Shortly, the power output of the helicopter-shaped crafts will be drastically increased, so the tail and rotors will not only be covered, but the overall shield resistance and survivability of the machine will also be drastically increased over the initial design. These new machines will allow us to fly over just about anywhere on Earth, day and night, as the population cannot know if what they are seeing is an actual human helicopter or one of our crafts, therefore enabling us to conduct rescue and surveillance missions far more efficiently without going against the infamous Prime Directive. These helicopter-looking craft are capable of flying with their rotors conventionally, but are also equipped with plasmajet and anti-gravity generators, enabling them to fly with no rotors, which are mainly used for giving the desired camouflage effect on the onlookers. And of course, they are being powered by 2 small high-efficiency zero-point reactors. The rescues have continued, but at a much slower pace due to a lack of ground-based actionable intelligence during the last month. We know that the Cabal has taken the missing Taygetans, Antarians, and citizens of other more vulnerable star races far deeper underground to prevent us from rescuing them. While we solve this problem, we have focused our efforts on rescuing all the taken people we can find, concentrating on the most vulnerable ones, and before they are moved underground. CIC is also constantly scanning the media looking for clues and for missing people who we can help, and with this, we can see how necessary those helicopter-looking craft are for all of us. Moving to something else, we can see that the leader summit in Alaska between President Carrot and Putin is just more theater, as Goriel and his team have found clear evidence that the Cabal was using doubles for that media circus, for both of them, as stated by several conspiracy theorists and people with good observation skills, plus digital manipulation as well, using green screens and plain CGI, which has not been mentioned anywhere else as far as I know. It is all theater as usual, and for manipulating the public's perception, as both sides are being controlled by the same overlords, and those you see are only masks for them. I just want to state where we stand with that meeting and similar ones as well. We are hard at work up here, and more news is to follow soon. Being well protected does not mean that bad things cannot happen to you, as I recently learnt the hard way. I was walking from the main mess hall deck of this starship towards the deck below while being escorted by 4 guards, and right when I was going to take my first step to go down the stairs, my right shoe got entangled with my long dress, and I fell down the stairs quite badly. Besides a few bruises and bumps, and a hurt pride, I was okay, perhaps because I am so skinny I don't weigh much. My 4 guards could do nothing to prevent me from falling. So be careful out there, and don't be overconfident. We are all well. All the people you know are only a little sad because of the recent events, but are doing well, and performing their tasks as usual. I will soon do another interview with Ari the Urmah tiger, and with Kirai Kaikotsa, the young Urmah leopard who is a communications cadet on their flagship, the Avian 1. And King Rua may also come in to give a statement or two soon. Along the same lines, the Antarian ambassador, as Ed Nydia, may also come in soon to share her thoughts on the situation Earth is in. I will also continue to write about other subjects. As always, thank you for watching my video, and for liking, sharing, and subscribing for more. And I hope to see you here next time. With much love and appreciation. Your friend, Marie.